This is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And welcome to this week's vlog. Today is Wednesday. It's taken me a few days to get on here and log in for the week. I'm feeling better than I did last week, that's for sure, but I'm having pretty bad problems with my legs this week. So, I've decided to make my way over here and see what we can do. I don't have an awful lot of stuff to talk about, but that's usually the theme going on around here. So today we're going to be coloring in something that is not for the spooky season, just some regular coloring today. I'm working on this mandala, which is from an issue of Flying Colors. This is a Penny Press magazine. It's volume 13. It's an older issue. My sister passed this along to me because she'd bought it and it wasn't really quite her thing. So I did a picture in it already back in April of this year. So I'm just going in order. This is going to be my new pattern book that I work in because I have been working in designing colors, you may recall, and I actually finished that this month. So there will be coming a completed book flip coming up. Whoops. I'm using this because there's gel on the page, a gel pen on the page, and I don't want to spread the sparkle all over it. So yeah, so I needed a new pattern book to work in. I like to do at least 2 a month out of the pattern book. And I need something that's doable, you know. So I don't want something tremendous, and I don't want something very simple. I want something kind of middle of the road, so that each pattern gives me a day or 2 to finish, and then that gives me enough time to get the 2 a month done. So it took me over a year to finish the first one, but it was a project of love. I enjoyed working in it. Okay, let's see if I can do this without turning the book around. Did I just move us off screen? So, as usual, I did my random color picking. I picked 4, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 1, 2, 3. I picked, yeah. So for one this size, and this has quite small spaces, I randomly picked 4 of my permanent markers, and then I randomly picked 1 gel pen, one glitter gel pen, and 2 non-glitters, because I put all my glitter gel pens are together, and then all the rest, metallics, neons, pastels, normal, whatever, they all go together in another container. So it's a total of 4 markers and 3 gel pens. Now, normally I just pick randomly and go with whatever I've gotten, and I think this is turning out beautiful, and it's amazing because I would never have put these colors together. One of my gel pens is metallic silver, and I just would not have put that in here. But it looks absolutely beautiful. It's one of the nicer ones that I've done. But you notice this flower here. Well, I told myself that if I didn't randomly pick a green in any one of my picks, I would randomly put one back, or like randomly take one out, and then excuse me, and then just pick out a green because I want it to have the green leaves. But I ended up picking two green markers and one turquoise gel pen, which would have sufficed for leaves. I've gotten used to doing these random colors for my patterns and mandalas that I don't know if I'd be able to pick a color palette all on my own. I just love these so much. And I like it when I get colors that I just kind of like groan at when I get them, because they end up looking good. It's just all a matter of what order you place them in. I've only had a couple ever. No, that's not going to work. Oh, okay, I'm trying to not move the book around for this because I just don't have that much desk space, because I've got other coloring that I'm working on placed to one side, and I have a stack of books that I need to film flip-throughs of on the other side. So, just a little notice about what's going on at Nikki and Niagara in case you want to participate. There is the Color Along Nikki Spooky Season, hashtag Nikki Spooky Season 2020 with my co-host Sunder Junkie, and that will be continuing for the rest of this month until the 31st, and that is a Halloween color along. You can color anything that's spooky or creepy. It can be scary, gross, creepy, or it can be cute, cutesy, kawaii, creepy, cute and creepy. So it could be anything, and any picture that is unsettling. I colored a picture that was a page of insects, and I thought that went along well because some people, including myself, find insects to be incredibly creepy. But for some reason I like coloring insects. I don't know. Pictures of insects, well, drawn pictures of insects don't freak me out. Close-up photographs of real insects really creep me out. Oh, then you can see what exactly they look like. All their eyes and their legs and the hairs, and oh, I'm giving myself the creeps just thinking about it. So it's about 6:30, 6:30 in the evening. The sun is starting to go down. It's getting dim in here, and I have the lights on. So there is that color along to join, and all you have to do is put the hashtag on Instagram or wherever you post your pictures, but I'll get to see them if you post them on Instagram with the hashtag. And the other thing that I've got going on is I have my own Facebook group now, in case you didn't know. It's over at Facebook, obviously. And it's, oh, my voice is just feel like oh, is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. I felt like my ears were plugged. I had to do the hold your nose and blow thing. Yeah, that definitely feels better now. I don't know if I sounded different, but I heard myself different. So yeah, the Facebook group is Nikki's Adult Coloring Club. If you want to go over to Facebook and search for that, or there's a link down below in the description. And you can join that, and we have a challenge every month. This month's challenge is to find a picture that is not Halloween related, but you need to color it so that the colors orange and purple are prominent in your picture. And we have had some amazing entries so far in the group. They're really, really nice pictures that people are coloring. I hope this isn't going to run out. Pretty sure I have a backup or two of this, but it would just be so awkward for it to run out now. So come on over there and join us. So, yesterday I decided to take the day off. I had a no computer, no coloring day, so I could see what I could do with myself. And I ended up reading all day long. And then in the evening, my husband watched the NHL draft, and I sat with him and continued to read. So we had a nice evening together, sharing the same space. And yeah, so I read all day, and I finished my book. Well, except for like the last chapter, which wasn't very long. So that was the devil. Is it The Devil and the White City, or The Devil in the White City? I think it's The Devil and the White City by Erik Larson. Erik Larson. And that was his well, it's his third book, or was it his fourth? No, I think he said it was his. No, I was just thinking that in the afterword, or the acknowledgments section, he said it was his third book with this publisher, but the other books by him, there was 4 listed. So it's either his third or his fourth book, but it's his first of what he is well known for now, is writing these historical non-fiction, historical non-fiction, and yet he writes it, it's written like a novel, so it's storytelling, even though it's fact. Very interesting to read, and he incorporates it's not just about, like, his books are always about 2 things. So this one was about H.H. Holmes, the serial killer, and the Chicago Exposition. And this was all in 1890 something, I believe. And so it was a really good book. I have read his most of his other books. It took a little while to get into, because it was pretty much just about the world. I keep wanting to call it a World's Fair, but it's an exposition. And it was pretty much about that, and there'd just be, like, you know, a few paragraphs about guess I'm just going along and skipping, about H.H. Holmes. So up until they actually started construction on the exposition, it was slow, and it took me, I wasn't terribly into that part, though. Larson can I can read anything he writes and find it interesting. But once the fair started getting built, the Holmes stuff started getting, it started getting into the Holmes stuff, I should say. So that's why, that's, when you're reading the book, that's why you're there, for the Holmes stuff. So it was really well written, and of course, and once I got to that point, it was a fast read. I've read several books on Holmes, so I didn't learn anything new about him. And I've also read source documents, like when Holmes is in jail, they're looking for the children that were under his care, and the detective who undertook that case, he went on, he followed Holmes where Holmes had been, kind of like all across the states. Well, not all the way across, but from Chicago to Canada. I have no idea where Chicago is located to in reference to Canada, but he came up to Canada through the Ontario border, and yeah, he actually stayed in Toronto. I wonder if there's a historical plaque or anything about where he stayed there. I doubt it. So I've read, that detective wrote a book on his account, and I've read that. It's very, very interesting. You can find it on the internet for free. It's out of copyright. It was written in 1890 something. And then also Holmes wrote 3 confessions, all different and all containing some truth and a lot of fiction, but they're very interesting to read too, because it gives you an idea of what he was like by reading his writing. Even when he's not telling the truth, you can still get kind of, an idea of the manner, his mannerisms, and just kind of like how cold and calculating he was. He's one of these guys, or I shouldn't say one of these guys, he's one of these psychopaths or sociopaths who doesn't have any conscience. Well, conscience, there we go. Of course he was conscious. Doesn't have any conscience. So he never regretted anything he did. He could, kill people and then have dinner type of thing. But yeah, good book if you're into true crime. If you're not into it, I hope I don't talk about it too much for you to listen to this. It's kind of a topic that I spend a lot of time on. Oh, I want to thank the person who recommended I forget what the show was called, but Makeup and Crime. The girl who does her makeup while telling a true crime story, and the other one, Stephanie Harlow, I believe. Her show's called Coffee and Crime. Well, she's doing her Halloween right now, which is really good. She's doing all these, she does these cases which are like unsolved or have like really freaky or spooky things. They're not like paranormal or anything like that, but they're spooky enough to have, you know, some people may come up with a paranormal reason for what happened. So yeah, I watched both of those today, both of those ladies today. Their shows aired on Monday, but I am behind on my YouTube watching. I just finished a section called This Week. So now I'm on yesterday. So I'm watching stuff that was uploaded yesterday. I've got two movies that were uploaded that I've put onto my watch list. Oh, and yeah, it was last night on one of my channels, movie channels. They put on The Terror. That's a 1960, was it 3 or 5? One of those years. Horror movie. And it's starred Boris Karloff, quite an old Boris Karloff, and a very young Jack Nicholson. His voice is barely even recognizable, but you can tell it's him. You can hear that I don't know what you would describe his voice as being, but he has a very distinct voice. So it's always fun to see him watch some of the stuff he did when he was young. And Boris Karloff is one of my favorites. I've seen the majority of his movies, and they weren't all horror movies, or you know what the 30s to the 60s called a horror movie. So The Terror is good. I've seen it before, but it's a good story. A lot of fun, with a twist ending. So if you like that kind of thing, I recommend it. So the two movies, I don't know the names of the two movies that I have added to my watch list, but one of them is a film noir, and the other one is another 60s horror movie. So that's what I like to watch. I think my main area of watching horror films, like I call myself a classic horror film buff, and like I'm very knowledgeable and have seen all the Universal monster movies, and that's like, those are the heydays. I love that stuff. I've watched Dracula I don't know how many times. I've even watched the Spanish version, which they filmed at nights when they were filming Bela Lugosi's Dracula. They used the same set and basically the same dialogue, except it was more sexy because Spain, of course, had much looser moral codes for their movies. Oh, my callus on my finger is hurting me. I just found out about something that I'm going to order. It's called an egg pencil grip, and it's the shape of an egg, and you put it on your thing, so it's kind of big, but it's for people who get calluses on that finger. Sorry. But it is this finger that you get it on. It's been a permanent part of my life ever since I was a kid. I mean, I used to love to write and just look at my own handwriting, copy things out. And I've always done that. And even now, I'll come across a quote somewhere, and I'll just grab a scrap of paper and write it on there. And then every couple of weeks I gather together all my scraps of paper and rewrite anything that I need saving, like appointments and stuff, and start a new piece of paper with that stuff, and then throw away all the other scraps so that I've condensed it down to one, and then it all starts all over again. I'm just a list maker. Boy, I've talked for 25 minutes. I did not think I would have anything to say, and there you go. So guys, tell me what you are coloring right now, and if you're not coloring, what are you doing? So, what should I talk about now? Yeah, looking around the room doesn't give me any ideas. So I did pull up this page of YouTube tag questions, things to answer if you don't have much to say in your YouTube video. So I thought I'd play along with that. It's divided up into different sections. So the first questions are just random ones. So I'll answer these as best as I can, and maybe one of them will lead me to a topic. So I won't ask the first two questions, I'll just answer them. I'm not hot and I'm not rich. Oh dear, I'd like to be hot and rich. Who wouldn't? But sadly, no. The next question. I am in love. I'm deeply in love with my husband of almost 25 years. And I like coffee very much, more so than the average person. I'm not into fancy coffee, oh, well, I mean, I like it, but I don't really know the difference between all the different, barista things. I don't like Starbucks. I prefer Tim Hortons, that is, which is a very famous coffee and donut shop here in Canada. And I know there are a few in the States, in cities which are closer to the Canadian border. So, but actually, for on-the-go coffee, I really like McDonald's coffee. It's been several years now, but they changed their coffee, and I like it just as much as Timmy's coffee. Always like a cafe au lait, and I can drink espresso. Sometimes I put, when I'm out, I'll ask to have a shot of espresso put into my coffee if I feel like I need the extra bump, but I also do drink espresso alone. And normally I take, my coffee needs to be sweet, but I put sweetener in it instead of sugar. And I like it very milky, so, you know, like a lot of milk. Very milky. So that a cafe au lait doesn't have much more milk in it than I normally have in it. But espresso's the only coffee that I drink plain or black. I don't know if it's my voice or if it's my ears that are bugging me. I know my throat's getting a little bit dry, but that always happens to me when I talk because I have dry mouth. As to tea, I like tea as long as it's not fruity stuff. So basically it needs to have a base of regular tea. As long as I can put milk in it, I like it. Because I like my tea much sweeter than I like my coffee. But I like it just as milky. So I like green tea. I put milk in that, no problem. My favorite is black tea. And I've had various other types of tea as well. Earl Grey, Lady Grey, Rooibos, whatever it's called. I've never known how to pronounce that word. Darjeeling, Ceylon. But my favorite tea is Yorkshire black tea. That's what I basically grew up on. And that's what I like now. Or just English breakfast tea. That's a black tea as well. What would be my dream vacation? Well, it would have to be long for me to go through the ordeal of flying. Because I think I've mentioned on here before that I do not like to fly. I have flown. I had to fly a lot when my dad was ill. My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and for 3 years I traveled out there every 6 months to see him because Parkinson's patients usually are given 3 years to live, and he just barely made the 3 years. And then, of course, at the end, I had to fly out a few times because there was a couple of close calls, and then finally the final call. And that was in 2018, February of 2018, and I haven't flown anywhere since. And in my real normal life, with no dream vacations, I don't intend on flying anywhere ever again. But let's say I was given a dream vacation, I'd have to be there for a very long time, like say 3 months at least. And I would like it to be somewhere where I don't have an ideal place. I would have to browse through a bunch of places, but it would have to be somewhere where there's lots of history. I'd also like it if there was religious places to visit, Catholic. monasteries or basilicas, or, famous places where there's, related to saints and, all that kind of stuff. Won't get into that, but yeah, I'd like to have some kind of historical, and well, I guess the religious stuff is historical too, but I'd also like to spend a lot of the time just sitting somewhere where I can enjoy the scenery and just color or read. Just, do the things that I do here now. I'm not a get up and go vacation person. I'm a go somewhere nice and sit down and enjoy it. But I definitely like to experience the culture of where I am. And Russia is high on my list of places I'd like to go. So yeah, that would be my dream vacation. Okay, next question is just the who do you love question again, phrased differently, so we'll skip that. The last movie you watched, well, I just told you what the last movie was I watched. The Terror. What sport do you play? Nothing. I am one of the most non-sports people in the world. I have never played a sport, and I have never enjoyed watching a sport. Back in the days when Toronto had a soccer team, I don't believe they do anymore, but like my dad, he was British. Well, my whole family's British. Technically, I am as well. So soccer was like in the blood. Fortunately, it skipped me. But one time, my dad took me and my sister to see a soccer game. It was the Toronto team at the time. The Blizzards, I believe they were called. And it was like one of the worst experiences of my life. I was uncomfortable, I was bored, I was irritated. I was everything. Oh, that was terrible. So my dad never took me to a sports game again. Unfortunately, I am a sports widow. I have a husband who likes every sport. Well, he says he doesn't like every sport, but he'll watch it. Like, because of all the upheaval that the sports world has had. He was even watching baseball, and now he says this isn't true, but it is. He has said that he doesn't even like baseball, but now, because he was watching it, he said that, oh, he likes it when the Jays are playing. But yeah, he watched games that the Jays weren't playing in, so. But his favorite sport is football. And after football is, of course, hockey. He is from Saskatchewan, and I lovingly call him my prairie boy. And no red-blooded Canadian boy does not love hockey. So he grew up playing street hockey. And that's what he would do. He doesn't know any of the old TV shows that I used to watch when I came home from school, because whether it was winter or not, he would come home from school, get dressed, and then go out and play either ice hockey or street hockey. So we do not mesh when it comes to sports seasons. To me, it's like football season ends and then it's hockey season, and then it's football season, then it's hockey season. It's like there's no break. That's why it was nice the other night when he was watching the NHL draft and I was able to sit with him and read and not get irritated, because I have to tell you, just listening to sports irritates me. It's like it grates on my nerves. The sportscasters, they talk funny. They don't talk like normal people. And it's just really irritating. And then I ask questions and my husband acts like he can't believe that I asked such a question. And anytime he tries to explain hockey, anytime he tries to explain football to me, I'll ask a question and he'll start explaining and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand. Or he'll answer my question and then keep going, and it's like, okay, stop. That's all I need to know. Yeah, definitely not a sports person, me. What are you eating now? I'm not eating anything now. I probably will go get something to eat when this is over. Well, not when this is over. When I'm done this. Because my tummy is starting to rumble. So I'll probably go have some rice cakes with a bit of butter on them. I love that. It's the only solid food I can eat, are rice cakes. If you're new here, I have major digestive problems and I can only eat liquid food. Or not necessarily liquid, but there's a word for it. Smooth foods, anyways. You know, I can eat cottage cheese and stuff like that, but I can't eat anything that has anything to chew in it, like stew. Who is your best friend? Well, I don't have a best friend. I don't really have any friends in the real world. That's just not the type of person I am. My husband is my friend, my best friend. Mr. Niagara, as we've been calling him here. What novels do you read? Oh, I guess I didn't say that. I was talking about nonfiction. But I've talked about the novels I read before. I read crime fiction. What is your favorite pet? I think a cat is the best pet, because they don't take an awful lot of care. They're quite independent, but they're very cuddly and soft, and if they're in the mood, they will come and do some loving. But cats, any cats I've had, even if they're not the most affectionate kind of cats, they always seem to know when you're sick. And that's the way our cat is right now. It's not my cat. It's my 20-year-old son's cat. But if I'm not well, she'll come and sit at the bottom of my bed. She won't sit up close by me. She may come up for a bit of a purr and a cuddle, but then she goes back to laying at the foot of the bed or by my leg. What TV shows do you like? I think I've talked about TV enough on this channel, so I'm not watching anything. What do you put on to go to bed? little bit personal. I usually just sleep in a t-shirt. Sometimes it'll, well, not a t-shirt, but I have a nightgown that I wear. Well, a slip, I guess you could call it. That's kind of a slip-ish nightgown. But most nights I'll just take everything off till I'm down to the shirt or blouse or whatever and sleep in that and put it in the laundry the next day. Start it all over again. I don't much care what I wear to sleep in. The name of your pet is Shadow. The size of your bed is Queen. What are you listening to? Not listening to anything. What is your favorite subject? Well, I think we all know that it's true crime. But after true crime, okay, is history. I watch several history channels on YouTube as well. Absolute History, which pretty much runs historical programs that are on TV. So there'll be like a part 1, part 2, part 3 or something if it's like a mini series. Uh-oh. Looks like this one's running out. I should have another of this. Yep. Can I do one more line? No, it's not going to do it. So we're going to stop there, folks. We've done over 45 minutes. And I'll keep my questions open to where they are so that next time, when I run out of things to say, we can continue on with that. So I'd like to hear your answers to some of those questions that I did. So if you feel like commenting, or if you're one of those people who never knows who wants to comment but never knows what to say, sometimes I feel like that on some videos. I'll feel like I should comment and that I had things to say while I was watching it, but then I'm at a loss when the video's over, so I end up liking it and not leaving a comment. But yeah, so if you're one of those, if you do that too, then pick a couple of those questions and tell me. So I'm going to toddle off and go find a replacement for this marker and probably go get something to eat. That's what I'm going to do. Isn't it looking nice though? These colors, I am just like really pleased with these colors. And I don't know if I showed you the shine, but you should be able to see the shine. It's got a turquoise glitter gel in it, and it's got the silver metallic. And you can really see the silver metallic. Okay, so I'm gonna log off now, and I'll be back in a little bit. Hi guys, I'm back. It is Saturday at about supper time. I'll be eating in a little while. So, things may look a little different right now because I have changed my camera setup. So, let me know how it is. The problem is that my arms went out. Yesterday. They got really, really bad. And, well, my shoulders. And so when I color, I need to have my elbows on the table. And before, I was like back like this. And the camera was in a different position altogether. Like I've moved the tripod. So hopefully this works, because I think it's going to work for me. I've been sat here at my desk for quite a while today. So first of all, I thought I would show you, oh yeah, first I was going to show you my last finished. So I just had to work in this. This is one of my books that came this month. I've ordered every single one that they've come out with a black background. So yeah, I did this one starting at the back. Is that it's kind of dark, isn't it? I don't know if this, oh no, now it's in view. Oh well, it doesn't matter, I can edit the settings here. So yeah, this is my last finished, and I just absolutely had a ball doing that. They're so much more fun and easier and quicker to do in these black line editions, and I just, yeah, I liked that very much. Now I'll show you my whips. I am currently working on this one. I was working on, I'll show you the other whip that I have. I don't usually have two on the go at the same time, but the other one is kind of like a long picture, and this one, I just needed a break from it. So yeah, I'm working on this right now. The colors aren't showing up on my camera very well. And then you've seen this before because I started it on camera. But this is what I am working on. This is my big project, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. But I needed a little break from it. My hand was starting to hurt from using the pencils. I try really, really hard not to be heavy-handed, and I've really trained myself, actually, that I've actually reached a point where I'm not as heavy-handed as I used to be. So if you're in the same situation, it just takes perseverance. Just keep, every time you're gripping that pencil or pen or whatever, just tell yourself, stop it, stop gripping it, no death grip. And if you're pushing hard, just say stop it, and just keep repeating it over and over. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Really enjoying that. I can't wait until it's done. We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, so that's the current state of affairs. And now what we're going to do today for coloring is, somebody asked me to color out of one of these Coloring Book Cafe books. They wanted to know what they're like for using alcohol markers. Are the lines too thin and too light? Because they're definitely not as bold and thick as the Jade Summer lines. But let's take a look at it. There's some variances, just like there is in Jade Summer books. They're not all as thick and bold as Chibi Girls, like say the that Art Nouveau one. That is much more thinner than the Chibi Girls, and these have some variances too. So when you take a look at books which are kids books, kind of, basically they're the cutesy ones. They don't say their books are for kids or adults at all. It's just, here's a coloring book, you know, whoever wants to color in it, color in it. So the cutesy ones, I have this one. I also have Cute Monsters, and I have Animal Town, and they, for sure, if you take a look at the back here, you can see that there is a dark outline around everything. So if we go into the book, let's see, let's get something with more stuff on it. Yeah, okay. So there is a dark outline around his sweater, around his pants. Again here, sweater, shirt and pants. Mama's, well, I guess these are grandparents. So Grandma's dress, the bushes, the trees. Then the lines are a little thinner around the heads, around the stonework, and the trunks. But that dark outline is what does make these suitable. At least I've found them suitable. I've only colored one so far, so we'll see today what happens. But yeah, so there's those ones. Then there's of course the obviously adult ones. Now some of the pictures will have the dark outline. Oh, here we got the picture that I did too. So let me turn it so we're not distracted. Now in here there's only a few things that have the dark outline. One side of the window frame, the pumpkins, her sweater, her hair, this book, this cup of coffee, her feet. But then everything out the window doesn't have that dark outline, and the pattern and the lines and stuff inside her clothing and does not have the thick outlines. So they help. They definitely help. But then you'll also get ones like, there's not as many of them as what I'm going to show you, but there's a particularly, it's probably not at this end. Well, I guess it doesn't happen that often. Okay, here we go. Now this one doesn't have very many dark lines at all. Basically just the ladder and these apples. Yeah, a few things here, this squash or pumpkin or whatever it is. And then I did one in here, and it had some dark lines and not some dark lines. So what I found was that because it doesn't have the dark lines, it doesn't have anything separating the different areas. So I went around with pencil when I was finished to combat that. But I'm going to color today, and I'm going to use 2 shades of each color to do an outline and then an inside part. So we'll see how that goes. But this was easy to color. I didn't have any problem coloring it. I just think it's not a very well defined picture, and that's why it kind of like all goes together. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so the other books aren't really necessary because it's just the same thing. But I've gone on a bender with these guys. So I have Animal Town, Autumn Life, Farm Life. Okay, this is the Country Collection. It has 4 books inside it: Country Life, Country Autumn, Country Winter, and Country Cottages. And then this is Autumn Scenes. And I also have Cute Monsters. And I think that's all of the ones I have. So this is the one I'm going to work out of, Autumn Scenes. And I've got a picture with a little bit of a Halloween vibe to it. She's carrying a jack-o'-lantern and a witch's broom. There's a cat, which I guess we could color black. Just got to do something about the light. It's not bright at all. That's a little better. That's a bit better. But we got the shadow here. I think I just created that, didn't I? What is causing that? There. Okay, so that's gone. And I seem to have light shining on here. And then I should be able to edit the values. Let's hope. Alright, so I've got all my alcohol markers. Well, not all of them, but I've got my Spectrum Noirs, my Ohuhus, my Shuttle Arts, and I also have all of my permanent markers in fine line. So let's put a sheet under here. this is actually the last page in the book, so it means it's... Well, the thing I really like about this book is that the Book Cafe books, is that all the... Is it all of them? Yes, all of the pictures are framed. Now this one actually has a double line, so it actually has a frame, but all the other pictures just have one line around them, mostly. Okay, well, let's start with orange, and we will do our pumpkins. So, let's see. I think this is the color I used for the pumpkin before. Yeah, okay, so I've got a medium-ish orange there, and I'm going to look for a darker one to do my outlining with. Oh, I can just use the next color up. Well, that's too red. So I'm going to do this kind of like a color along rather than a color and chat. I don't know. I think I'm doing too many. So what I'm trying to do is find this is a light orange. So I'm trying to find an orange that's just a little bit darker that goes with it. Okay, so I got that. All the ones I'm finding are too red and bright. And if I use one of those dark oranges, I won't have... Okay, I think this one's going to go good. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go around. Now I'm just wondering if I should do it first or second. Let's see, if I go around, then this is going to kind of blend into it. I don't think we'll have a problem if we do it this way. So we'll start with this pumpkin right here, and I'm going to do a line around. Now one thing you have to be careful of is, because the lines aren't so thick, don't go right up to them if your pen bleeds. So this one bleeds a bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back and fill in any places where the bleed through didn't go right up to the line. Well, not the bleed through, the bleed. Okay, so now let's use this one and let's color it in. Yeah, I think I still went too dark. I'm not sure. Okay, I need to use the other side. So this is a Spectrum Noir that I'm using right now. I think this is one of the classics or something. Oh, basics. The Spectrum Noir has so many different markers, and you can still get a lot of them, but yeah, that looks alright. I like that. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with this, and I'm going to do these lines. Oh yeah, I like this. So yeah, you're going to have to make your lines to help with this. So that worked good. I like that. Are we on? Yeah, but oh, the light is just terrible. I think I'm going to have to switch some lights. Okay, not now. I'm just going to have to use my editing software to hopefully get this better. Okay. Yeah, I have to concentrate when I'm doing my outline. It's like doing a face. Okay, so I'm not gonna do anything else till I've colored it in. And I'm gonna go straight over the face on it, because I'm going to color that in. You can go right up to the lines. It kind of blends them a little bit. Now, I'm going to go in with this, and, yeah, I'll do the inside. I don't know if I should have done the other bits, but I think that looks best. Now let's go over some of these. I don't think I'm going to do them all. There's a lot on this one. And I'm using just the tip of this so that it's a thinner line than the one that I did around the edge, because I kind of bent it like this. Oh, I might as well do them all. There we go. Okay, I like that. That turned out well. Okay, is there anything else that we're going to do orange on here? Okay, no, but I'm going to do the flowers. I'm going to do those a dark yellow, and this light orange might work as the go around color. Trace outline. There we go. That's the word we'll use. Okay, so let's find a darkish yellow on here. Let's try 34. 34. So if I can't get the lighting right on this, I apologize for the terrible state of affairs. Hopefully I can edit this and it'll look better. Okay, now those are very close in color. Maybe if I try 37. I think I chose a good color for those two. I think you need a good contrast, because I was thinking maybe I'd chosen too hard, but seeing how these two color, the other two colors that I just tried here, blended together, yeah, you do need that. Okay, so we're going to outline with this one this time, because I have chosen a medium yellow that will do our sunflowers. So I'm just going to do this. I'm doing it light, and I'm holding the marker just so that it is kissing the paper. I'm not right down on the paper. I'm just holding the tip, and that way you can get a thinner line. Like I'll show you here on my scrap paper. See, if I just hold it normally, like at a little bit of an angle, I get a line like that. But if I hold it up and I just let it kiss the paper, I can get a bit of a thinner line. And that's what I'm doing on here. Otherwise I would just fill in this space. I don't know, my hand is in the way of what I'm doing, isn't it? That's gonna be a problem. What about this? Yeah, it's gonna take me a little bit to get the setup as good as it was before. because I definitely do need to have my elbows up on the table. Like right now my elbows are just right at the edge, but I don't want to be further in screen. I just want you to be able to see, because I can't do what I used to do because my hand, yeah, my angle's not so good. So yeah, I can't color at my best at this angle, but we'll do this one and I'll save the other one for later so that we're not wasting time doing the same things over. How are we doing? Okay, that's better. So I mean, of course, you can color these any way that you want to. I'm just playing around with these and coming up with the way that I feel that coloring these is going to work. Now, see, there isn't that much of a contrast between those two, but I think there's enough. And yeah, you can go right up to the lines because you're kind of blending it in. And don't go over it. Don't actually like try to blend it in. Just let them touch, and then the bleed will kind of mix between them. Okay, I got to be careful. I have a lean. I lean to my left, and I don't know, doctor said something about how that's because of the pain that I have on my right side, and that my muscle is hard or something. But yeah, so the wait a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to go over those. Whoops, let's get the right one. Go over these. Yeah, that looks good. Oops. Maybe like this, I think. Yeah, I'm liking how this is turning out. Okay, so now we want a brown for the inside, but I'm thinking maybe that this orange that we used for, no. It might work for our tracing though. Let me get a brown for the inside. Don't like those. Maybe we need like an orangey. Yeah, let's look at 24. It's kind of an orangey shade. That's one of those yellowish oranges that okay, yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna outline with the dark one again. And when I was doing the petals, I didn't do the bottoms because I knew I would be coming right around with this. I hope my hand isn't getting in the way. Okay, I'm gonna color the whole thing this color. Let's use, I don't think I should have colored that in because I don't want to blend that circle in. Yeah, so it's going to take some trial and error to know what you're doing. my outlining color is a little bit too bright with this color. Yeah, I'm liking it though. Alright, let's move right away to a different color now. Let's try the leaf. Okay, those two colors look good, 43 and 42. Those are all dark ones. Maybe 59 and 42. Oh no, that's not going to work. Well, let's try 59 and 42. There we are. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I'm going to outline with the dark color. I'll do these 3 leaves right here. Oh. No, we'll do those a different color. So I'm doing it lightly around this one, because the space isn't that large. And you know what? I'm going to do this. I think I'm just going to do it on one side though, because if I did the other side, it would fill it in. So I'm just kind of letting you listen to the thought process that's going on in my head. I am not talking like I know what I'm doing. Yes, I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, it works good if you go up over the color. Yeah, it's going to take me some time too. Okay, I'm doing my lean to the left again. Then I push down on my elbow and my shoulder starts to hurt. Oh. Okay, now let's put maybe if I put the book at an angle. I think maybe that's working better. If it looks like I'm being delicate, it's just because I'm trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing, so I have to hold my pen a little differently. That turned out nice. I just want to go up. I missed tracing up over that line. You can kind of tell. Okay, so we'll do that for the leaf over there, and now I just think I'm going to use the dark one and do these little tiny leaves here. I don't think I'm going to bother tracing them. So you can color in perfectly well as long as you have a smaller nib on. There we go. smaller nib on your on the nib end. Some markers have large ones and some have smaller ones, and the Ohuhus have quite a bit of a smaller one. So what I'm going to do is when I color in the background, I will trace over the leaves. So I like the way that looks. Now I don't want to color the kitty black because then we won't see. It'll just be a black blob, but I think I'm going to use a dark gray. So let's get a good shade of gray, and then, okay, I can use the grays back here. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to use warm gray 4 and 6. Okay, there's 6. Warm gray 4. Alright, there it is. Okay, so we're going to take the 6 and we're going to outline him. I think I'm just going to do one side of his tail. And same with his feet. Just go to there. Yeah, so I'm going to cross his feet at the bottom, but I'm not going to go down both sides. I'm going to start here. Now I'm not going to worry about the features on his face because I will be able to see through, and I'll use a fine liner to go over them. Just back there and just kind of go into the line there. And then we'll use the other one. Let's go on top of the line, because I'm finding it makes a difference. Oops, went outside the line there. That's alright. Use my colorless blender to erase it in a minute when I'm done. It's only a light color, so it won't be hard to get rid of. I am liking this. I've never done this before. Done this outlining. Just when I did the other picture, I thought, okay, I'm not going to go over his eyes. I'll do his nose black. Oh, it bled right into his eyes anyways. Yep. Alright, now where's that colorless blender? There we go. Okay, so let's get this little bit right here, the one outside the lines. Now let's see if I can erase his eye back to being white. Yeah, There we go. Just one thing, and I've never mentioned it before. When erasing with the colorless blender, I'm not worried because this is the last page. But, oh, and it didn't happen here. But if you're going over an area and you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, well, here, I'll do it. I'll do it here because, I mean, we're not going to see anything. But if if you really saturate an area, I don't even know if this is going to work because there's no color here. Then, it's not working. But anyways, if you do that, it will go right through your blotter page and onto your next page. So insert another piece of cardstock, or if you're using pieces of paper, another stack before you erase with your, and it's probably just a good idea to have more than just one piece of cardstock behind when you're doing that, because yeah, I've run into that problem, and yeah, I thought you should know about it. But look, his eyes totally disappeared, and all we had to do was just hold it there. So now they're white again. We can see the whites of his eye. Okay, so I missed a couple of my little leaves. Now I'm going to have 3 pictures on the go. Alright. So, let's do her skin, and I've just been using, what's the color I've been using? 135? Yeah, I've been using this shuttle art for my skin recently, just using her up and always choosing this guy for my skin. So I'm not doing any lines. I'm not doing the lines around the face. It's not necessary. Oh, I'm leaning again. Oh, man. Ugh. This will be better in the long run. I know it will, if I can just stop leaning on my sore shoulder. Yeah, I almost dropped a container full of my, a hard plastic container, like the kind of plastic that shatters, full of my alcohol, of some alcohol markers. Looks like she's wearing socks. So that's it for skin. I was moving it, and then all of a sudden my shoulder gave out and my hand went down like about, I don't know, a foot, and then it kind of like reconnected again or something. I don't know, but it was just like this jerking feeling. I felt it give, and then it was back again. So that's a good thing I didn't drop those, because the plastic container would have just shattered all over the floor. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it. I hope I've showed you that you can color in these books, no problem. You don't have to do this outlining that I'm doing. I just thought it would look nice, and so I'm trying it out, and I do like it. So I use a bit of a combination of both methods, but yeah, you can definitely color in these. You just got to be careful of bleed. If you've got really, really juicy markers and you've got a big spread on them, I don't think they're going to be good to use in here. Just your average type of bleed, just stay away from the edge and let the let the bleed go to the edge, and you'll be fine. So, yeah, I just don't really have anything to say because I've been in bed for the last, when did I record the first time? Thursday. And I think I had been in bed before that. But yeah, since Thursday. Friday. That's yesterday. It feels like such a long time. Yesterday I was just really, really bad. I couldn't even move my right arm, and that's not the one with the bad shoulder. I couldn't even lift it up to scroll on my tablet. That's how weak I was. It was unbelievable. So, yeah, so, I don't want to whine about that or spend my time complaining. So I don't have anything else to say. So I hope that I've kept you entertained a little bit, and let's hope I have a better week and I can have a better vlog. Alright guys, so I'm going to say bye, and I just really appreciate y'all being here and watching me and staying and seeing me through the bad times as well as the good times. And yeah, I just, yeah, I really appreciate everybody who watches and comments and everything. I'm not good at speaking emotionally, but yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye and have a good week, and we will see you next week. So stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you. Bye-bye.